What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we get to work on a brand new 2022 Wrx. We're going to be color matching a few things. We're going to be gloss blacking a few things. Dewey kind of gave me free range with his permission on a few things. So we're kind of gonna just treat this thing like it should have been from the factory. So let me show you what we're working with.
I've been waiting for that text back, yeah. I know that you ain't sending that, yeah. But I've been waiting by my phone for days, just waiting. By my phone for days, just praying that you would tell me it's okay again. That you would tell me it's the same again, yeah. And I hate just what this came to.
Alright, so we got the car in the shop here. Let me kind of show you what our plans of action are. We're going to color match the fender flares. The side skirts are going to be gloss black. The center section here in the bumper is going to be gloss black. This lower center section is going to be color matched. And then we're going to leave the pockets on the front bumper. So it has still a little bit of contrast in it. We don't want to take away everything because there still is a lot of black on the car. What else? We're going to, oh, my Lanta, dude. That drives me nuts. But we're going to two-tone the bumper. We're going to color match the top half of this. We're going to leave the pocket, the trim just like the front so it matches. And then this whole lower section is going to be gloss black. So this thing should be pretty sweet. Oh, we haven't decided if we're going to do the center piece here to de-civic this thing. I gotta talk to Dewey about it and see if he's cool with that. All right, so we're gonna get one side tore down and then we'll show you how the other side comes apart after we kind of figure it out. We've never worked on one of these before, so we're gonna break a couple things.
2 seconds later.
This car is so easy to tear apart. It's really not even funny at this point. It was so boring, Kyle fell asleep. All right, so we tore off the other side. Kyle fell asleep. It was super easy, so he's gonna show you how to do it on this side.
1, 2 push clips, and then there are 2 clips under here and here for just this part. This part just pulls off. So we'll start here. A little easier to start here.
The back of the flares have a tiny little bit of double side tape here, but it's really not anything to be afraid of. The pop clips just pop right off.
If you can't fix something, chuck a fucking wrench across the room. Be a man.
I did that. Oop. I did that. It's all good. These are the tiny little clips. They just pop right out.
And if they do that, ta-da!
And there's your fender.
Schwa.
All right, so the funny thing about these fender flares is that when you stance boys want to go super low, you don't have to fender roll anymore. You could just take your Dremel and trim this bad boy down even more than it already is. All right, so now that the top section of the fender is done, Kyle's gonna take off the front bumper portion. This L piece here is all actually one piece. We thought this was separate, but it's not. It's all one shape.
There's 2 push clips here, one at the top corner, one about midway. Then there are a couple underneath, one here and just one up here. So we're gonna go ahead and just push those in and just do this to pull them out. Free very easily. Then we're gonna grab our special.
You're gonna need some clip tools. If you don't have those, you can go to handy dandy Harbor Freight, or you can go on Amazon if you got Prime.
That's one.
There's 2 clips on the bottom. Just pry off in the little channel right here, and then push up, and they pop right off. And then the ones on the inner liner, you just push them in.
And there's Two.
Two. And click them in.
So now from here, we're gonna pull it here, and then we're gonna push a little bit here. I might have to get behind it. There we go.
So don't be afraid to pull on the plastic from the bumper. It is separate. As you can see, it comes off very easily.
So we removed this because there are tabs that go through and into that. So from there, this just literally
slides right out. Oh, that's cool. Sweet. And your bumper is 2 pieces, which is going to come in handy when we go to paint this stuff. All right, so the rear is even more simple than the front, so we're going to show you that here right now. You literally just...
Be a man.
There's a little double-sided tape in the top corner.
Oh, and it falls right off. Now we're gonna work on the rear flare. There's 2 push clips in this corner here, just like the front. Kind of hard to see.
We'll just pull on a little bit.
Pop right off. And once again, be a man. Pop it right off. Voila. Now in the rear you have this reflector here, and it literally just pops right out the back. There's not even a bullet or anything, just a little slide clip and 2 pins. Pop it right out. Boom, there you go.
Boom, daddy.
They're super easy to
Bob's
tint.
your uncle.
You could tint them, you could black them out, wrap them, whatever you want to do with them, but they pop right out. All right, so that's literally how easy the flares come off. Now the side skirt is pretty similar to the last generation.
Ew.
There is a bunch of big push clips. Let me see if I can slide it underneath there, if it'll see it in this channel in here. And just like the other ones, you want to take something, your clip tool, and slide it into this channel here and pop these bad boys out. I think there's 6 or 7 of them all the way along the bottom of this thing. Pop them all off and they just fall right off just like the rest of the car. So there's 5 big clips and 3 little clips, and then this thing is gonna pop off. All right, so I lied. There's 1 extra clip in the back here that we didn't know about. So there's 3 in the front. You got 1, 2, 1 under here, 3 small ones, and then there's 1 in the back corner for the rear, and then the 5 big ones are down the center. Now you want to pop your door open because the channel goes in the door, and you should be able to just yank this bad boy off. Ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Voila.
Got it.
There you go. All right, so this thing is pretty much naked. Now we're going to work on getting the front bumper and rear bumper off. All right, so we're going to show you guys what's under the hood.
Oh, what's that doing there?
Oh,
I'm trash.
It doesn't belong there.
so just like the previous gen, you have some bolts and clips at the top here, and then we'll probably have to go back underneath and get the lower trim underneath the center here, and then the front bumper probably just pops off like the old gen does.
You want the metal tool?
All right, so we are underneath the front of the car here. There's a bunch of plastic little push clips that go all the way down underneath. Let's see if we can see it. There you go. And once you get those undone, you can kind of see the bumper kind of just falls apart here, unclips, and it should be ready to pop off. So when you go to remove the bumper, you want to take your hand behind this corner here and you want to just lightly pull on it, and then it should pop out of these pretty easily. Just like the last gen, it has this similar plastic ring around the headlights, and if we were doing anything with the headlights, they would, you know, fall right out. But this is pretty much what the car looks like with the front bumper off. When you go to take the front bumper off, be careful. You have to unplug your, I don't know if they're fog lights or they're some kind of running light, whatever it is. I think it's fog lights. Yeah, fog lights. And that's pretty much it. So now we're gonna rip apart the front bumper and we'll show you how all this stuff comes out now. So this is the front bumper turned upside down. The front pocket over here has a bolt on the inside. Be careful with that. We almost tried to rip off the front piece and we had some tension, so we quit, and this is what was stopping us. So in theory, pop that out, and the front corner pocket fascia here should pop right off. Little push clip.
So here.
Couple clips in the front. And push them in. Flathead works. If you got big hands like Kyle, you can just manhandle it. Be a man.
Be a man.
And there is one of our pockets. So same thing for the other side now. Pop the clip out, and voila! Your other fog light pocket, or bezel, whatever the hell you want to call it. Now the lower grill section should just unclip from here, is what it seems to look like. Is there any clips on the bottom? Nope. Nothing on the bottom? No. Should just pop right off, yeah. Got to get a flathead or a clip tool and pry those up a little bit, and they should pop right out. Think, push down, and good to go. Push up and down, yep. After you get all those popped off, and there is our center section. All right, something we just noticed that's really, really cool on the new cars. The old generation, the emblems were just like double-sided taped with 2 pins that always broke when you took them off. These ones are actually screwed in. That's pretty cool. So they're really easy to take off if you wanted to do your emblems. All right, next we have the rear bumper. Unlike the front bumper, there is no breakaway from the back here. So the back bumper is one piece, unfortunately, so that's gonna suck. So it looks like the tail lights have to come out. I gotta undo this screw right here, and there's probably a clip or a bolt behind here for the bumper. And then the corner should just probably fall off, and then just like the front, we'll have to crawl underneath. And yep, more push clips all the way down the bottom. Be extremely careful with these clips. They do strip out very easily. It is a Phillips head, but it is plastic, so if you jam the wrong size screw head in there, it will strip it out. So you just barely want to loosen it, and then take your clip tool and then get underneath and pop it up. So after you get the little clip popped off, the trim, literally just reach behind here in this little crease right here and just pop it out, and it comes right out. And then that gives you access to the screws for the tail light. We hope it's just 2 screws and then it pops out. If not, we might have to dig into the interior and see if there's anything back here, but I don't think so. Before we do that, we're gonna see if we could skip maybe taking off the light. It looks like if you look inside here, the channel, it slides underneath, so we might get away without taking off the tail lights. We're gonna see. The bumper, rear bumper's got a bolt here in the corner here. Once you undo that bolt, you can just pull a little bit and you'll see there pop out. Kyle's undoing the clips underneath so we can get access to this corner and see if we have to take off the taillights or not. All right, so we were wrong. You do not have to take off the taillight for this, so we're gonna put this trim piece back on. The bumper literally just pops right off underneath. See the clips? And it comes right off. He's getting the other side undone now. So we got the rear bumper off now. It looks like these exhaust rings in this, I don't know, that center section's solid. It looks like just these exhaust rings are like pockets. These pop off. Just like the front or the rear flares. There's 2 little prongs for the light. Just pop right off. And then you have this like inner channel vent here that literally pops right off in the back. A couple clips, a couple push clips, push them in and pop them out. So this is the rear bumper, completely tore down. No center, no light, no reflector, no little vent trim piece here, and the rings. We've been contemplating changing the idea for the back. Instead of having everything black down here, we're thinking we're gonna do the rings over the exhaust color match to give it some contrast. So it'll be like white, black, white. We'll see though. We're gonna get everything sanded and primed and kind of play with it before we go all the way.
And these are the trim pieces. These are the rings I was talking about. And then just like the other generation, you get a cool third brake pocket, which is pretty neat. They kept that. And then there's the vent pieces. They pop right off. So the very last piece that we're working on is going to be the center garnish for the trunk here. So from looking at it, we have 2 bolts in each corner, and I'm sure there's going to be stuff all behind here. So Kyle's taking apart the trunk felt plastic here. We're going to get behind here and see what we find. So again, just like the old generation, on the center garnish, you have these little stud bolts here. They slide out. There's a couple of them. I think there's probably 2 or 3 of them, and then your license plate lights, and it should pop right off. Voila. So before you take the garnish off, there's 4 8mm bolts, 2 stud style, and then the ones in the corner like I showed you before. You also have to disconnect the rear camera, and there's a little rubber grommet you got to push in, and that'll help release it when we pull off the garnish. All right, so underneath, right up top, this blue clip right there, that's where the top of the emblem is. We just pried up in the corner here on both sides at the same time, and it just literally pops right out. So unlike the front, they screwed us in the back just like the old style with these 2 stupid freaking pins, and the thing is double-sided tape, so that's gonna be fun to get off. We'll heat that up and see if we can pry it off before we prep it.
Lost you, now I feel lost. Ain't nobody but my fault. Now I'm dumb and it's blunt, yeah. Stressed out, I can't front, yeah. Look what you're doing to me. Look what you're doing to me. I know you're just finding yourself in this future.
So that is the end of this video. We got everything all tore down, the flares, front rear bumper, all the bumper stuff, all the trim, the side skirts, trunk bezel, just about everything we're gonna paint. Not everything's going color matched. It's gonna be a mix of black and white. So should look pretty good. That's it for this video. The paint video will be next. You gotta tune in and stay up to date for that. And we'll keep jamming on this thing. See what we can do. I'll keep you updated with the progress. Thanks.
You would tell me it's the same again, yeah. And I hate just what this came to.